This is my long-lost daughter. I haven't seen her in 2 years. And she came for a visit. This is like a wonderful Mother's Day for me. And since she's taught me so much about food and what we should be eating, and we're going to be cooking up a storm while she's here, I thought it would be fun to make some videos of us cooking together. So today she decided that she wanted to make a bread. And so we're going to, I'm going to videotape her as she's making this bread. It's got lots of different ingredients in here that we're going to experiment with. And I'm sure it's going to come out delicious because she's a really awesome bread maker. She's an awesome cook too, by the way. So. Yes, dearie.
I'm on camera. Well, anyhow, I'm here visiting. It was a surprise. And I do love to cook. And I just made some bread with a friend of mine in Pennsylvania. She said she could never make her bread rise. And together we made that happen. So I'm going to take inspiration from that experience and bring it to the table here. Alright, so it's going to be a pretty simple bread. We've got the stinging nettles, wild-crafted in Northern California. We have some organic flax seeds, some Himalayan pink sea salt. You can see that. Got some cornmeal here. That's going to be for when we put the bread onto the pan so it doesn't stick. And then I took some organic sunflower seeds and garlic and food processed them together. Because we're making a rising bread, we're going to need to have some sugar for the yeast to feed off of. So I have this local honey from Reedsport, Oregon that I had with me traveling across the country. And we've got some extra virgin olive oil. And we'll have some cracked pepper. We also have some organic bread flour. It's, what is it, red wheat flour and malted barley flour. We have water. It's about 110 degrees. 2 cups of water. I'm going to put it here into our mixing bowl. There. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our package of yeast. This yeast is for all flours, but whole grains especially, which is what we're working with. And we're going to use the entire packet. This recipe is going to make us about 2 loaves of bread.
Okay, so there's the yeast and the water.
And see it having fun in there and coming to life. That's what it does when the conditions are right. And then we're going to take a tablespoon. I'm going to do our dry ingredients first, so we need to use this tablespoon again, of this sea salt, pink sea salt. We're going to put it into the water, and then we're going to take a tablespoon of this fabulous honey here, and get that in there, swirl it around. So we're just going to let it mix. We're going to mix it a little bit, and then actually we're going to stop mixing, and we're going to let it sit for about 3 minutes. And what's going to happen is it's going to start to bubble. And that means there's activity. The yeast is building and growing. It's eating the sugar. And so once we have enough bubbles, then we're going to then begin adding our flour.
Ooh, wow, it's really going.
Mm-hmm. Likes the honey. We're going to add about 5.5 to 6 cups of flour to this 2 cups of water. And we're going to work it with our hands. Okay, so here we are, getting our flour into this bowl. I'm going to sprinkle it in there. I'm going to do about 2.5 cups for the first round here. And I'm actually going to start mixing with the spatula first, because it's going to be a little too goopy to work with my hands. When it comes to hand work in time, I'm then going to put some olive oil on my hands. I'm just going to mix it in here, holding it around. Do that. It's a good start. Doesn't have to all get completely worked in. Then we did 2.5. Now we're going to do that's 3.5, 5.5, Before I add any more flour, I want to test the consistency. So, it's about 5½ cups there. What I'm going to do is put some of this nice olive oil onto my hands. It's really good for the skin too, so don't be worried about getting too much on you. This, take our hands into there, just kind of mash it around. Don't be afraid to touch it. It's okay. It's not going to bite. You're not going to sink. Yeah, it's a messy project, so don't try to keep things too clean either. And it feels a little wet. If it feels too wet, just add a little more flour. You're going to need it on the table. You're going to end up putting a little more flour down. So if it seems a little sticky but not too sticky, you might not want to add any more flour because you might overdo it. Then you're going to have to add more liquid and so on and so forth. So, to me, that feels great. Here, you want to touch it? Touch it.
Yeah, feels like a good consistency to work with.
Great consistency. We're going to do the kneading process. Now, in the kneading process, what we're looking to do is we want to take the dough, say we're in a square sort of shape. You want to take the dough and fold one corner over to the other. And then you want to push down and out. So you're pushing down and sort of up. It's like giving a massage. Then you want to spin the dough 90 degrees and continue this process. You might want to use your body weight if you've got it, because it can be a little rough on the wrists. You want to do this for about 5 minutes.
So this is a good workout for you.
Great cardiovascular,
strength training, resistance. Workout in the kitchen.
Feels great. Alright, so our bowl's been cleaned out here. And what we're going to do next is take this little bit of olive oil. Now from experience, I've put quite a bit in the past, so I don't really need too much. Probably good. We put our olive oil in. This is just preparing for the next step. But before we actually put the dough into this bowl here, I wanted to mix in a few ingredients to the bread. I was thinking and feeling that it would be nice to take some flax seeds and to just sort of knead them in a little at a time. Just sprinkle them there like that, fold the dough, knead it in. Really, it depends on how much you really like to have these things in your bread. You can make any kind of bread that you want, depending on whether you want sweet or savory. You want lots of nuts or seeds, high protein bread, fruits. I was also going to take these nettles and sprinkle them with a little salt on the inside. Not too much salt. You can go a little overboard sometimes with salt. So a little bit of salt in there. Take some of these nettles and crumple them up. You can do this with any dried herbs, really. Or anything you like. Rosemary, oregano, parsley, thyme. Anything you got. You could even do it with fresh herbs right out of your garden. So, never tried this before. Sure, it'll be great.
This will be interesting.
In the next episode, we'll make homemade cheese. Now, we've kneaded our nettles and our sea salt and our flax seeds into our bread dough here. The next step is to let the bread rise we've got everything in it that we were looking to put in. And so what we're going to do is we have our bowl with our oil. We're going to just drop it in there. We're going to spin it around. And then we're going to flip it. Just make sure the whole round of dough is covered in oil. This is to keep it from sticking to the bowl as it's rising, because within 1 to 2 hours here, the bread should have doubled, the dough should have doubled in size. Mm-hmm. And so the thing to do now is to get a nice clean piece of linen or cloth, cover it, and put it into a warm area. Anywhere where you can have a consistent temperature for between 70 and 80 degrees for 1 to 2 hours. So that's where we're moving from here. Here we are again. Our bread is risen. I've touched it, so.
Look at that. Look at how much it really expanded, though.
Yeah. So what we want to do now is, they say to punch it. Punch it, and we're going to take it out of here and try to see if there's any air bubbles. I'm just going to knead those out real nicely here. See, the oil helps. Now you don't need all that flour on the table. This is enough to make 2 nice Italian style loaves, which is what we're going to do here. So what we're going to do is we're going to slice this baby into 2 semi-even pieces. Look at that.
The dough looks nice.
Yeah, it feels good too. Ooh, look at that, nice chunk. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we got our 2 pieces of bread. We're going to take this cornmeal and just dust our pan with it. You don't have to put any oil on the pan. The cornmeal will keep it from sticking. There's already oil in the bread. And so then we'll take our bread. We're just going to form it into our loaves. I'm going to make 2 loaves that are going to be, pull it, stretch it a little bit, kind of turn it into itself.
Kind of, yeah, folding it under like that.
Kind of do this little tuck. And then one there, your other one. And then we're gonna do, I made this, took the sunflower seeds and added some fresh thyme, olive oil, a few more flax seeds. We got some garlic in there, some Himalayan sea salt, and some fresh cracked pepper, and then some caraway seeds. So sink in here. What you want to do is you want to give your bread a little slice.
Wow, it already looks like it's rising again.
Yeah. And so we've got our 2 loaves of bread, oven's at 400 degrees, and we're going to pop these in for 35 to 45 minutes, or until the bottom is brown, or when you tap it with your finger, it sounds hollow. There you go, buns are in the oven.
We'll come back when they're ready. Look at those. Ooh.
Our bread is done. I'm going to take it out and share it.
Let's check it out.
Ooh, it smells good. You have to smell
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Isn't it? Perfect loaves. About the size of footballs.
Nice and brown on the outside.
That's hot.
And I want to see the bottom. I'll show folks the bottom. A little brown on the bottom there.
Mm-hmm. Looks wonderful.
Sounds hollow. We did it.
Woohoo.
We made bread.
Oh, look at that.
There he is.
That's a beautiful bread. Yum, we're going to dig in.
Butter recommended as an accompaniment.
Thanks, dear. Good job.